Hey, what's up, guys? Rich, Thrill the Treasure. I'm back. I want to apologize real quickly. I've had the most insane tech issues, and I've heard people say that on YouTube before, and I'm always thinking to myself, whatever, man. Like, it can't be that bad. It's been bad since my last video. First off, YouTube decided to take away Google Hangouts, which is a part of the live stream, which can let you do screen share. Long story short, they just kind of took it away. So doing the screen share became an issue. And it took me about a day or two to find the right software to get. Then I got the right software, and then it slowed down my computer tremendously. And it's been a nightmare. I've probably recorded this video three times in 2 or 3 days. Anyway, I'm back. Okay, so it's working properly, I do believe. If it's not working, for example, if there's some choppiness to my face and my talking, or if I play a couple videos, if it doesn't like stream properly, please excuse it for this video. I'll get it fixed. But I'd rather get this out there and gone, okay, in the books and moving on. All right. So real quickly, okay, because I want to go right into content. We talked about on my update. I want to be heavy content, not a bunch of talk show stuff. But we all know about the gold coin giveaway, okay? Here is the two pictures. That's the front of the gold coin, 1876 Liberty head. And this is the back of the same coin. Okay, this is the video for the giveaway, guys. No more waiting. We're never waiting again. All right, those are the two pictures. So to win, needless to say, you got to be subscribed. Please like the video and make a comment. Okay, you don't have to make some long comment saying something really sweet and great about the video. I mean, you always can, but I'd rather have like genuine content comments, right, about what we're talking about in this video. So that said, I'm going to take all the comments, usernames, I'm going to put them into a program online. There's a bunch of them where it will show, and I'm going to record this while I do it. It'll like randomly pick a person, and that's the winner. Okay, so today's Wednesday. I'm going to run the comment section until Sunday at midnight. Okay, this Sunday at midnight Eastern time, no more comments. All right, and then I'm going to record the Monday morning. I'm going to record the next video, and we'll pick the winner for the coin. Okay, and that's that. Okay, I don't want to go on and on about this. I'm going to give one away, one every week, one every couple weeks. I'm going to buy the next coin. I'm actually going to take a camera and record that process so you see me buying it. Okay, how much is it worth? I've seen book values of this type for up to $500, but it's not perfect condition. So I know it's probably at least 150 to 200. Okay. So let me check my text real quick because I'm supposed to pick up my kids. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's that, guys. So be subscribed, comment, win this one. I'll tape buying the next one for the next giveaway. It's that simple. Okay. Any questions? Hit me on the comments. So man, let's get into content. I've been waiting on this so much. Oh, this is cool. I can minimize my face so you guys don't have to see my face. Isn't that cool? All right. Now, the title of this is going to be something about basically the riddle. Like, is this riddle the reason why we can't solve the poem? Or the first clue. Okay, so this is the main idea is going to be about the first clue, where one water halts. But I do have one little bonus idea I want to share quickly on the front end, because I want to see what you guys think about this, if you think this is interesting at all, okay? Let me play this comment for you real quickly. Well, actually, let me read this first. Okay, I've been thinking about this, and I came to this comment from Forrest. This is Illinois Ghosts, WordPress guys. You guys know about it if you've been in the chase for very long. Great information here. He has been doing videos, so I think he's searching hardcore. Okay, so let's see. Let me find this real quick, okay? Okay, here is this quote, okay? The spot where I hid the treasure was in my mind from the time I first started thinking about the chase. It is special to me, and there was never another consideration. I was going to make it work no matter what. In my reverie, I often find myself stealing away to that place, and I will always consider it to be mine. I don't know how to say that word. It's not rear view, but it's reverie or whatever. Anyway, okay. Interesting quote, right? We all know it. I mean, it's kind of lore now that he knew his place. It's really romantic, right? He didn't have any questions. Now, I want to play this for you real quickly. Now, again, if it doesn't stream properly, I'll have this fixed, but at least listen to the audio.
Part of the area includes national parks, national forest, maybe Indian land. What have you figured out if the treasure is found in those areas? Who owns it?
This is not something that I jumped into superficially. I mean, I tried to think of everything. My feeling is if you can find a treasure chest, you can have it.
But if I find the treasure and it's in a national park, don't I have to share it with Uncle Sam?
I spent a bunch of money with a lawyer to figure out the question about who owns it, if it's found on public land, on private property, or on Indian land. And there's all kinds of answers. If it's found in a national park, according to my attorney, the person that finds it is required to take it to the park superintendent. The rules are different if you find it on private property. If you find it on Indian land, it really gets complicated.
And the person who finds it has to deal with the legal questions.
Well, if there's a legal question, yeah.
Okay, guys, that's it. And again, anybody that's new might not know this stuff, but you guys that are veterans, you know this, okay? Forrest has said he spent, I've heard a couple figures. I think his figure is $9,000 or $10,000. I think in one video I actually said 15 or 20,000, but I heard that somewhere. Let's say it's somewhere in between $10,000 and $15,000, okay? And he paid lawyers or a lawyer to basically to figure out, look over all the treasure trove laws, right? And figure out what is what. What would happen if we found it here? Private property. What would happen if they found it on public property? Which would include national parks, probably state parks, forests. You guys know all of them, all right? So I guess a couple things to take away from this. That's not the not the point. And I just thought of this watching this. You notice how he always dismisses Indian land. So, I mean, I think we all have a strong feeling it's on Indian land because it just would be a mess, right? But you notice how whenever he talks about what his lawyers tell him, he always highlights national parks. He doesn't say, well, my lawyer said if it was found on national park land, or if it was found on one of the other type of public lands. He always says national park, which that's interesting. Is that a tell? Okay, but that's not what this is about. Okay, let's go back to the quote. You know, he says from the very minute he thought about this, he didn't have a question in his mind about where he was going to hide it. This was his spot, right? So when he thought about that, he knows where his spot's at. He knew if it was on private property or if it was on public land, and if so, what kind of public land? Was it in a park? Was it BLM land? That's what I was thinking about earlier. I couldn't remember it. Was it national forest? Right. Of course he knew. So here's the question. Why pay a lawyer $10,000 or more, that high hourly rate, to do research for it to be found, if it's found in a place that's not on the land that your special place is at? Think about this. Do you like to spend money for no reason? Now, I thought a long time about this. I thought, well, maybe he did it so he can answer the question, sound knowledgeable when he's asked the questions about where it's hidden. But would you spend $10,000, $15,000 to sound knowledgeable? You would just go Google it and get a decent understanding, because he only gives us one sentence answers anyway, right? So you wouldn't pay a lawyer. At least I wouldn't pay a lawyer thousands and thousands of dollars to tell me where it would be, what would happen if it was found in a place that wasn't my special place, that could never be in a consideration. What does that mean for us? It's a big question I have right now, guys. Now, you know, I'm the type of guy that thinks that Forrest doesn't lie. I don't think he misleads us. I think he's got integrity. He's got honor. I believe that 100%, and I always will until someone proves me otherwise, right? I think he can mislead, which he does a great job by withholding. He holds all the cards. He has all the information. So if he doesn't want us to know something, he doesn't have to lie to misdirect us. He just doesn't tell us. Okay, does that make sense? It's a strong position to be in because you don't have to lie. The only reason why you lie is if you want to lie. And in my opinion, when this is all done, when he passes away, or if he's not passed away and it's found, everything he's ever said is going to be cross-referenced times 1,000,000, and he knows that. So it's his legacy and his family's legacy at stake. If he made some huge lies throughout this to mislead people on purpose, it wouldn't make any sense. So let's assume he's telling the truth. Then what does that mean if he's telling the truth? Why would he pay? Did he just do it? Again, does anyone want to spend money they don't have? Thousands? It's not like an extra $100. It's $10,000, $15,000 to find out the difference between what lands. I don't know. So here's the conclusions I've came up with, just so you know. I'm wondering, and based on it, because another part of the quote, he says, I was going to make it work no matter what. So what I get from that is when he immediately thought about a special place, right? He didn't have a spot per se, in my opinion, because he said he's going to make it work no matter what. So he had to figure it out. He'd have a special, perfect place at his special location to hide it. He knew the location where he wanted to hide it, but he didn't have a special place. So what this possibly means, guys, is that his special place isn't, for example, the size of a living room or a house, or like you're saying, like a half an acre. His special place is large. Okay, maybe what he means by that is a whole national park. I don't think that's possible. That's it, but possibly. But I think no matter where you fall in this, I think his special place is much larger than we are thinking. And the reason why is I think that possibly Indian land, national park land, or public lands, and private property all come and meet to a point. Okay, and so at that point, I think his special place might encompass a little bit of everything, technically. So he had the luxury of, based on the information he got from his lawyer, to figure out, okay, this is my special place. I'm going to hide it in the spot. I'm going to make it work no matter what. I'm going to hide it in the spot that is most conducive to the person being able to walk away with it without legal trouble. Okay. Now the other one is if you think he is misleading, that he said he had a special place, but in reality he based a special place on what his lawyer said. Maybe he had 5 different ones, right? That's very controversial. I don't believe he did that, but that would be the natural answer to, if you think about it. That's why someone would do that, because they would get that information and then make their decision on what place to pick. He made his decision first and then sought out the information and paid thousands of dollars for it. Okay, I would love to get your input on this. And like I say many times on these videos, this might have been covered before. It probably has, actually. But I want to get our input, our take on it. And this is new to me. This is a new consideration to me. So that's just like the little idea, okay, or whatever. This video, and please, I'd love to hear your comments on this. But this video is based on the riddle, and the bigger idea of this video, guys, is during my break, I've went a certain direction with the hunt, with the chase, okay? And this is the first part of this. I can't go into all of it because it would take a lot longer than I have right now, okay? So I'm just going to touch on a little bitty part of it that leads into the rest of it, okay? And it goes into this quote right here will start us. The problem searchers make is that they don't dwell long enough on the first clue. If you can't find the first clue, you don't have anything. I won't finish the rest of it. We've all heard that part. Guys, I really been paying attention to this. Sorry, that's my dogs. Hey guys, hush up. I'm doing a YouTube video. The word dwell. Okay? Now, dwell is an interesting word. We all know he's made the first clue, has said over and over how important it is that you can't move forward without solving it first. But I think we all or most of us have kind of went towards the where warm water halts being where warm water halts, the physical location, right? Well, if it's as simple as that, would we have to dwell? Would use the word dwell? And okay, now if we really think about everything he said about it being a riddle, where is the riddle at? Where is the riddle at? Is it the whole poem? And is he meaning like as a whole? Is he meaning different sections of the poem are riddles? Like there's a few different riddles, like every clue. And I think there's a bunch of ways you could talk about that. But I believe now, okay, guys, that he's given us a huge tell on one of the biggest riddles in this poem, and it is the first clue. Okay? And where warm water halts isn't what we think it is. And that might sound stupid to say that because you're like, duh. But no, I really think that it is the clue that's completely, when we figure out where warm water halts, where that starting location is, most of us will be like, oh my God, that's the aha moment. All right. I really believe this based on the word dwell, based on how many few people have found it, only a handful. Okay. He has said a few things that will bolster this. Okay. And I'll be quick here. One thing he said that some people have found it by accident, right? And he didn't think they were aware of their starting point being that important. And I thought about that comment. Okay, if somebody's in this hardcore and they're searching and sending him emails, or they're going on location, they're actually searching it, in what context would they be at the potential starting location and not be aware of the potential of even being it? You see what I'm saying? So even if it's the third clue, say they have a different starting point that's like a actual physical location. If that third clue that in their book, in their mind, has a warm water halt at it that would make this the physical location be the right way to solve this, wouldn't they at least, especially if it's tight with the first clue that they thought was the real one, wouldn't they at least consider that might be the starting point as well? If it was just as simple as physically being where warm water halts? Of course they would. I mean, no one would be like completely unaware of that being a possibility if they're looking for where warm water halts, and that was how you solve this. The way that I think someone in the know, okay, could be completely oblivious to it, the way he claims they are, is again, if they haven't dwelled on it enough, if that riddle isn't solved, and they're at it because it doesn't cross their mind because there might not be any water there at all, guys. I know that's probably controversial. There might not be any water at all at the starting point. Okay? I really believe this with all my heart, and this is where I'm going. Then it leads to another bigger idea in my next few videos. Okay? Now, I'll touch on this too. I think the keyword is probably one of the top 3 most important things he's ever said, when he said there's a keyword that people are in tight focus with, right? I think that keyword is the way to solve the first clue in the riddle. That keyword makes you look in the right spots, gets you away from the where warm water halts, and gets you into the right location. Okay? Am I saying there's no water there? I'm not saying that. But I'm telling you, it might be the second consideration, not the first. Second. Okay? And we talk about confirmers all the time and how there's a lack of one. That's the most frustrating thing. This keyword is the closest thing to a confirmer we have when we figure it out, okay? Because you're going to know what it more likely will do is you have 100 where warm water halts, right? But when you figure out the keyword and you put that into context with those areas, it's going to highlight one as your confirmer. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you. I don't want to explain forever, but I really believe this. Okay, that keyword is huge. We're not dwelling on this first clue. This is where, we need to get back in the box. This is where you need to think out of the box. I have a very strong opinion on what the keyword is and how it is involved with the first clue. I'm going to go into the videos coming up, guys. Okay. Let's see. Something else he said that's very interesting that makes this possibility seem more likely. He has said, and I don't know the exact context. He said, if you solve the first clue, you're more than halfway there. Not literally, but like figuratively, right? So what he means by that is if you solve the first clue, you're not distance-wise, you're not halfway there. That's only 1 in 9. So what are you halfway there? I think you're halfway there in the brain power, okay? He's like the difficulty of this poem and this riddle. The first clue is such a big riddle that when you solve it, the other 8 clues, you only have 50% of the difficulty left. Which you divide 8, you know what I'm saying? If you divide that 50% by 8, that's why it progressively gets easier. He said that as well. So he said all these things, guys. That first clue is 50% of your brain power, 50% of the riddle. It's the hardest thing to figure out. And that's why without it, you have nothing. Okay? Now, there's another big reason for all this. I'm going to go into, and again, these are all my opinions. Keep saying like it's fact. This isn't fact. But in my opinion, this all leads into the first clue being important. Another big reason why that's the case, and I'll share that coming up. It's all tied in, okay? So that is huge. And again, I talked about how he said some people get there, they don't even know that it's the first clue, and some people do. In my opinion, if you want to be a real player in this, okay, once you get that first clue figured out in the context of being a riddle and using that key word, now you're really in the game then. And I'm telling you, there's still only a handful of people, and I think that's really there, that know it, that decided on it, and they still haven't found it because there's no real true confirmers. So they're still struggling with the last 8, right? But they're there, they're on it. Now, whether they are sure enough and confident enough, like he talks about, to stick with it, I'm not sure. But I want to be a real player in this. I don't want to be just all talk. And I firmly believe that dwelling on that first clue in context with the keyword is how to really get to where he wanted to be. I really believe it, guys. Trying to look at my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I mentioned the confirmer aspect of it. The fact that he said you're halfway there after you saw the first clue. So I know I'm forgetting something, but I kind of want to make this quick, guys. So I'd like to get your input on that, okay? I'm looking at places, first and foremost, that have warm water halts, but when I put in the context of the keyword that I think is the keyword, it highlights them, makes them stick out, okay? And then I'm matching that to clues that I think are in the book. Because I think if you think about it this way, I think the book could be a lot more valuable, right? Because you're looking for a different tip-off. Instead of looking for like a where warm water halts location, just physically, one of a bunch of options, you're looking for something a little bit more detailed and more like solving a puzzle type thing, if that makes sense. And in closing, I'll say this. I don't believe that Forrest would have made this poem without having a way to really solve it, okay? And what I mean by that is, I don't believe it's just making a list of all the where warm water halts between the 4 search states, all the hundreds and hundreds of options, and systematically going through and marking them off a list by what you think the other clues are, or by what you get in the book, or by what you see on location, okay? I think there's something else that's not Forrest's style, that's more luck, okay? There's something that you got to figure out that's way more difficult. This is the riddle, okay? It's a riddle. So look at some riddles. I even looked at riddles, and like it really got me thinking, like, man, I was not looking at the first clue as a riddle at all. I think a lot of us have stopped with that. I think it's a riddle, and with context with the keyword, it's solvable. Okay, guys, that's it. I go on forever. But why did he pay for the lawyers? Okay, I'll make myself a little bit bigger in the closing. Okay. Hey, Ellen Weiss, you can thank me for highlighting your WordPress the whole time. I should do my own, which is I'm doing the website, guys. They'll be up soon because I want us to be able to communicate outside the comments. But okay, so hey, why did he pay a lawyer thousands and thousands of dollars for information on areas that wasn't his special place, and he knew it wasn't? Okay. And secondly, what do you guys think about this epiphany? I hate to use that word, but it has been on the first clue being a riddle, and this very important key word being the way you crack it. And when he says a tight few are in focus with the word that's key, if you think the people that are in tight focus with the word that's key aren't the same people that are solving where warm water halts, then that's crazy. Why would he say that? How could you be in a word with key, but it's making you solve like 7 when he says you can't solve 7 without number 1. Guys, the key word is in reference to the first clue. Is it in the first line of the first clue? I believe it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be. But I'm telling you, it is what's going to help us solve the first clue, because without it, we have nothing. He said so himself. Okay. So those are the 2. All right. I'm going to go get my kids. Appreciate you guys. Sorry it took me so long. Be subscribed, please. If you want to win the gold coin, like, make a cool comment. We shut Sunday night at midnight is the last time you make a comment, and then I'll pick the winner Monday morning. I'm going to record video it, like it'll be a clip I'm going to show on here. The winner will be announced. I'm going to get it out immediately. And for anybody waiting on the book, signed book, or wall map, I got a big order coming in. I'm getting those all out on the same day. Okay. And then also I'm going to have the video of buying the next gold coin on Monday as well, and we're going to launch that for next week. Okay, so I'll give away the gold coin on Friday, the next gold coin on next Friday.